Christianity. This religion has many different beliefs when it comes to the afterlife. For example, there's heaven and hell. Many Christians believe that when they die, they will be judged by God Himself. And if they have done more good than bad in their life, they will be allowed into heaven. But if they have done more bad than good, they will go to hell. However, there is a different belief in Christianity known as salvation through faith alone. This means that no matter what you do in your life, as long as you believe in Jesus Christ, you will go to heaven when you die. In addition, there is also the belief in purgatory, which is a place where people are purified of their sins before entering heaven. However, this is not widely accepted by all Christians. One thing to note about Christianity is that there are many denominations within the religion, such as Catholicism, Protestantism, and Mormonism, each of which has slightly different beliefs when it comes to the afterlife. So what exactly is the difference between going to heaven and going to hell? Well, according to Christianity, heaven is a place of eternal joy and peace, where one can live with God for eternity. On the other hand, hell is a place of eternal torment and suffering. Those who go to hell are separated from God and are tormented by demons. Sounds scary. Don't worry, because there is also the option of going to neither of these places. That's right. There's also the belief in a place called limbo. Limbo is a place where those who die before or are not baptized go. It is not as bad as hell, but it is not as good as heaven either. Those in limbo are said to be in a state of waiting, neither in the presence of God nor separated from Him. It is important to note that the concept of limbo is not mentioned in the Bible, but it is a belief that has developed over time within the Christian tradition. Some theologians argue against its existence altogether, while others believe it is a necessary place for those who have died without being baptized. Now, this may seem like a lot of options, but don't get confused. The main takeaway is that if you believe in Jesus Christ, you will go to heaven when you die. But if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you have two options. You can go to limbo, which is not as bad as hell, or you can go to hell, which is really bad. So choose wisely. Next up is Buddhism. Buddhism teaches that death is not the end, and that after death, the soul is reborn into another life. This cycle of death and rebirth continues until the soul reaches enlightenment and is then released from the cycle. According to Buddhist beliefs, the quality of the next life depends on the actions of the previous life. Good deeds lead to a better rebirth, while bad deeds lead to a worse one. Now, you might be thinking, does this mean that Buddhism is a form of reincarnation? And the answer is yes, kind of. Reincarnation is the process of being reborn into another body after death. And Buddhism teaches that this process continues until the soul reaches enlightenment and is then released from the cycle. So yes, Buddhism is a form of reincarnation. The goal is to reach enlightenment and escape the cycle of death and rebirth. And no, Buddhists do not believe in an afterlife in the traditional sense. Instead, they believe that after death, the soul is reborn into another life. Moving on to Shinto, which is a religion native to Japan. In Shinto, the afterlife is not a central part of the faith, and there is no detailed belief system about what happens after death. However, some core beliefs include the idea that the soul, known as the kokoro, continues to exist after the body dies and that it can be passed down to future generations. In addition, the Japanese religion believes that the dead can return to the world of the living. So it is common for families to hold festivals for their ancestors and to welcome their return. Unlike some other religions, Shinto does not have a concept of heaven or hell, but rather focuses on the importance of living a virtuous life and maintaining harmony with the natural world. Some scholars have noted similarities between Shinto beliefs about the afterlife and those of ancient Chinese religions, suggesting that the two may have influenced each other. Overall, Shinto offers a unique perspective on death and the afterlife that emphasizes the importance of honoring one's ancestors and living in harmony with nature. Alright, now let's talk about Judaism. After death, the soul is believed to continue to exist, and it may even be able to improve itself even after death. This is why it's customary for Jews to say the mourner's Kaddish, a prayer that praises God and elevates the soul of the deceased. It's important to note that the Jewish afterlife is not a fixed doctrine, but rather a collection of beliefs and customs that have developed over time. Some Jews believe in a resurrection of the dead, while others do not. And some believe that the soul goes to a place called Gan Eden, which is similar to heaven. However, Gan Eden is not a place where people stay permanently. Rather, it is a place of purification where the righteous are prepared for the resurrection of the dead. Ultimately, the Jewish afterlife is a mystery that cannot be fully understood. But the traditions and beliefs surrounding it offer comfort and guidance to those who are grieving the loss of a loved one. Hinduism. Hinduism actually has a variety of beliefs about the afterlife. It can get complicated, so let's try to break it down. Basically, Hindus believe that the Atman, or soul, is immortal, and that when the body dies, the Atman moves on to a new body. The Atman may move on to a better body if it has been a good one in this life, or a worse body if it has been bad. This process is called samsara, and it continues until the Atman reaches enlightenment. At that point, it is released from the cycle of death and rebirth and joins the ultimate reality, Brahman. So basically, the Hindu afterlife is all about reincarnation and the possibility of achieving enlightenment. But it's not just about escaping the cycle of death and rebirth. It's also about improving yourself along the way. Each new life is an opportunity to learn and grow, and the ultimate goal is to reach a state of perfect understanding and unity with the divine. So that's a quick breakdown of the Hindu afterlife. Islam. Muslims believe that when a person dies, their soul is immediately taken to a place called barzakh, which is like a waiting area between this world and the afterlife. When the person's soul arrives in barzakh, they will be given the good news of their acceptance into Jannah, or heaven, or the bad news of their rejection into Jahannam, or hell. They will also be shown their final place in Jannah, or Jahannam. After the soul has been informed of its final destination, it will remain in barzakh until Judgment Day. On Judgment Day, the souls will be resurrected along with their bodies and will be gathered together in a place called Al-Mashar. The final destination of the souls will be determined by their good and bad deeds during their lifetime. If they have done more good than bad, they will enter Jannah, which is a place of peace, beauty, and pleasure. If they have done more bad than good, they will enter Jahannam, which is a place of torment and suffering. So basically, the Muslim afterlife is all about rewards and punishments. What you do in this life will determine where you go in the afterlife. But there is also the possibility of being saved from hell through the mercy of Allah. Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism is an ancient Persian religion that is still practiced today by a small number of people around the world. Its main belief is that there is only one God who is all-knowing and all-powerful. Zoroastrianism also teaches that humans have free will and are responsible for their own actions. These actions can be good or evil, and they have consequences in both this world and the next. According to Zoroastrian beliefs, after death, the soul is judged by God and is sent to one of three places. The first is called the House of Song and Celebration, which is a place of happiness and joy for those who have lived good lives. The second is called the House of Famine and Anguish, which is a place of pain and suffering for those who have lived evil lives. The third is called the House of the Balance, which is a place where the soul is purified. Before entering the House of Song and Celebration, or the House of Famine and Anguish, it's important to note that Zoroastrianism does not believe in a permanent heaven or hell. Rather, the soul may move between the three houses depending on its actions. Sikhism. Sikhs believe in reincarnation, which is the process of being reborn into another body after death. The quality of the next life depends on the actions of the current life. Good actions lead to a better rebirth, while bad actions lead to a worse one. The goal of Sikhism is to break free from the cycle of reincarnation and to achieve union with the divine. To do this, Sikhs must live a life of service to others, and they must meditate on the name of God. When a Sikh dies, their soul is believed to leave the body and go to a place called Duar, which is the gateway to the afterlife. At the Duar, the soul is judged by God and is assigned to a particular caste for its next life. Castes are ranked according to their proximity to God, with the highest caste being the most enlightened and the lowest caste being the most ignorant. However, it is important to note that Sikhism rejects the traditional Hindu caste system, which is based on birth. Rather, Sikhs believe that one's caste is determined by their actions, and that they can improve their caste through good deeds. So basically, the Sikh afterlife is all about reincarnation and the possibility of achieving enlightenment. It also involves a judgment by God that determines one's caste in the next life. But remember, you can always improve your situation through good deeds. And that's all for the video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below.